So in this session, we want to create some navigation where we want to replace the content that we have in the center of our page here with something else. On traditional websites, we can't really do that. Traditional websites meaning that are not single page apps, but just make GET calls to a server where the entire page is replaced. So we cannot replace parts of a page. And that's where single page applications, SPAs, are very, very different, where the navigation actually is the manipulation of the document object model. And so what we're going to do is we create two links in our title bar that navigate to a different page or different content. Through sheer document object model manipulation. So I'll show you how this works. So first we go into our in our code, in our layout, into a file called main layout view. So the main layout view defines the title bar up here, and then also here the drawer. And I want to get rid of the drawer because it's all code that we don't need and just confuses more than it helps. So I first delete the button up here, and then I delete this Quasar div here, and then I delete our drawer. So I get rid of a lot of stuff here. Makes the whole thing just a lot easier. Then I delete the entire script tag. Don't need that. So that's all left over here. So here on this template, what we have here below the toolbar and the header, we have the page container with a router view. And this is the important tag here, the router view. The router view is like a slot into the document object model through which we insert single file components, either just a single file component, one file component, or nested ones. And we can make this entire tree, so we can make this very, very complex. And so this is inserted through the router based on the route that we choose. So let's take a look at the router. The router is defined here in the left side. There's a routes file. When we look at the routes file, there's a path here. The path is just a single forward slash. That's our home page. And with the single forward slash, we import the main layout view. That's the page, the component that we just reduced to just the bare bones. And then that component has children, or in this case only one, and has just the default path, which is empty here, and it pulls in the index page. And the index page is what we see gets then inserted into the router view here, like into this slot. And this is what we want to change. We want to add another route here. We want to define another route here. And so basically what I can do here is I just copy this and say, okay, I want to route this to, call the path a chart, and I want to route this to my chart, which is the component that we created. And then we need a little comma here, so because the children is an array of these objects here. So the routes are defined. Now I need some navigation to actually do all this, to insert the this file component here, my chart, instead of the index page. And we do this in the main layout. So here in the main layout, I create a router link, and that's a special tag. And I say this is, I call this home here. And then here I define the path. I say to, and then just a slash. That's my home router link. So I need to refresh this here to show this on the right side. I also want, because it's kind of tough to see here, I want to style this a little bit. So I create a class here and say text white. And I want to also have some space next to it so that it doesn't touch with our next link that we create here. So I use a predefined class or the margin that goes into the X direction, so it's horizontal, and I say it's a medium. So having this first router link established, I create a second one by just copying the first one. And here I say to chart, and call this chart. Now I have two links up here, my navigation links, and the path defined. And so these are special tags, the router link tags. So they work with the router, with the route definitions. So basically when I now start to navigate, so I click on my chart button or chart link here, the single file component my chart gets inserted into the router view. If I click the home link, then the index page gets inserted into the router view. So this is how we can navigate, and this is all happening in the front end. So there is no call to the server. So it's pure manipulation of the document object model. And that is the significance here. I can make this extremely interactive by just changing parts of the page, any part of the page, with anything I want, without making any calls to the backend, to a backend server. So that's it for this session. In the next session, we will start to work with the server.